Okay, Shaun, time to talk about Kapsys. I'm very excited about this because, as you know, we told you the story about Kapsys announcing at CES this new headset called CapX. And I'm very excited today to bring on a special guest to the show, the CEO of Kapsys, Aram Hekimian. Welcome to Double Tap.
Hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, listen, it's great to have you here. I'm so glad you're here because everyone wants to know about CapX. It's very, very interesting. This is the new headset, the new wearable, announced at CES and shown off there. Tell us about the headset. Tell us about the design.
Maybe before going into the details of the design, I will tell you why we have done this. There is approximately 40 million blind and additional 280 million people living with severe visual impairment. And unfortunately, there is only 200,000 guide dogs in the world. So a lot of people left with no solution to be free to walk safely outdoor. So this is the reason why we thought since 2019 to make this happen, and we came to CES to demonstrate this. So the CapX has two parts. One on the head that you can wear like headphones, except that it's equipped with a camera, and you have the box which you can fold and charge it in the box. But also all the processing is done in this box, so you don't have any internet connectivity. Everything is on board there, so you can use it anyway, anytime, with 4 hours of full operational time.
Wow, oh, 4 hours. That's nice to know. So just to clarify, there is no. The headset isn't hardwired into this box. It is still wireless, or is it a wire?
It's wireless. We have multiple wireless connectivity, Wi-Fi, a Bluetooth. But you can also, we have an additional Bluetooth that you can connect a smartphone on your headset and use it as a regular headset because you already have this on the head.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Now, of course, a lot of people will have been aware of the Kapsys name. For over the years, you've been developing lots and lots of different types of mobile handsets. For those who maybe aren't aware, talk a little bit about that lineup, because you've been doing this for a while. I mean, I looked back and I saw, going back to 2004, a number of smartphones that you were developing then. Tell us about the evolution of those.
So we have started with, we have been the first one to make a smartphone with the keypad. And actually, our designs are based on Android. And unfortunately, when you are back in that time, the Android accessibility were not really thrilling, if I can say.
Yes, we'll go with that.
Yeah, we get you. Yeah, we can go with that.
So we have been struggling actually in the beginning, but over the time, the Android accessibility became closer to the other solutions that you know, and finally we have been able last year to really build a smartphone having enough processing power, a good accessibility. As you know, our smartphones are Google certified, so you have access to the Google Play, so you can download any applications you want, over billions. This is the evolution, and probably this is not the end, because we will continue to innovate more in the coming generation. because the AI now is everywhere, so you're going to find the AI as well in our phones.
Oh, very nice. What made you move out of that sector that you've been so used to in smartphones and think? I mean, you mentioned the reason why you've moved on to this, but what made you think you could change sort of direction and move on to a mobility aid?
So we are with the visually impaired, specifically the blind, for now over 18 years. So we understood well the needs they have to be independent. Just to remind you that our first product back to 2007, it was a GPS navigator made for visually impaired. It was a matchbox, and all the user interface were based on the audio, so voice commands and TTS. So the mobility were something very. We were very known in the mobility of the visually impaired. So then we went to a smartphone business, but the mobility remained a very important point for us, for the visually impaired. And with the AI improvements, the research, the applications, we felt that we had to go back to the mobility of the visually impaired, because the key issue here is that without the AI models, you cannot build CapX, and we were not able to do it years ago. And one of the reasons that we came back on the market with this innovative mobility aid, orientation and mobility aid, I would say, is because we have been able to build a product with AI. Without AI, we will not be able to do this, or it will not be as appealing as what we have done anyway.
Yeah, you feel that the power of AI is such now that it's much more capable in this field. It's much more able to assist.
Exactly.
I didn't realize you kind of come full circle. That's interesting. So you've kind of come back to your roots almost. Because I must admit, from our perspectives, we were thinking, oh, this is a whole new area for you. But this is actually a return to where you began. Okay, so let's talk about the specific features of this device. So, essentially is that, bone conduction style headset, right? Which you're wearing around the back of your head.
It is not bone conduction.
It's not bone conduction. Okay.
It's air conduction.
Air. Oh, I see. So it's like I often refer to. I always go back to the Shocks headphones, or the aftershocks as we used to call them. Of course, those are bone conduction, but they now have this open conduction option as well, which kind of, as you say, just puts air in. Essentially, it's firing the sound into your ear. So that's how these work.
Exactly. Yeah, there's many reasons why we adopted the air conduction rather than bone conduction. One of the reason is the vibration. The bone conduction is basically the vibration you generate, and we thought that for 4 hours, and specifically when you increase the volume, I think it's going to be a little bit
you could say distracting, irritating, yes,
for the people. But there is also another reason why we use the air conduction, because for guiding the person as a very efficient way, we are using 3D spatial sound. And 3D spatial sound with bone conduction is pretty difficult to generate, because it's a perception of the what you hear. We can probably cover this later on a little bit more, but this is for two reasons we opted for air conduction rather than the bone conduction.
Yeah, I would prefer that. I'm not a huge fan of bone conduction, as you said, for an extended period of time. I do find it sort of irritating, to be honest. So I think that's a good call. I'm interested in, because you mentioned AI and the evolution of AI making this technology possible. So for me, the thing that I really want, and I think in our community, is something that can recognize obstacles and alert us to obstacles as we're just walking down the sidewalk. So is this handled with the CapX?
Yes. Yes. Maybe I will answer to the questions, Scott's questions. What are the main features of the CapX? Actually, we have two main features. The first one is the make sure that the visually impaired will be safe. So we guide them to avoiding all the obstacles, not only obstacles on the ground, but obstacles up to the man's height. The second is the scene description. So we can describe the scene to the user with a special way to decrease the mental load as low as possible, because you know that the blind, they want to hear what is around, so they don't want to be 100% focused on what are you going to say. So we wanted to say a very concisely and very shortly all the elements around without being very verbal, if I can say. So we use for this the 3D TTS. So all these are working with the AI actually. So how we do all this together is we model the environment in 3D point cloud. So and once you have the point cloud with distances, because we are able to measure the distances with a single camera. Every single elements you have around you, we know the metric distances. On top of it, what we add is the semantics of this point cloud. We know that you are on the road, or how do I say, the sidewalk, or on a crosswalk. It's already in the model. So we are using the semantics of the environment with the camera, and this is behind, of course. All this is the AI models.
Wow!
So we know exactly if you are in front of an obstacle, and what kind of obstacle. You have a fixed obstacles, moving obstacles. If I take, for example, a person, you know that the person can be in front of you, but the distance can increase or decrease. So if it is decreasing towards you, it means that it's a danger, but it's increasing, you don't care about these obstacles. But on the other side, you have fixed obstacles like, I don't know, on the sidewalk, you might have bicycles or chairs or tables or benches or whatever you may find on the sidewalk. Then we will recognize all this. And we can trim all this information, and at the end, decide how we will give the information, not saying that there is obstacles, but we will tell how to avoid all these obstacles. And this where it comes the 3D sound. So the 3D sound is something that the person will follow in a specially positioned in front of you, and you will hear sometimes on the left, sometimes on the right, sometimes in front, but you need to follow this 3D sound. If you follow this sound, you will be safe and out of any obstacles. That's the principle of the CapX.
Okay, that's so interesting. So you're able to 3D point an environment just using a camera? Is there no LiDAR in there or
No.
anything like that?
We do this only a single camera.
On a single camera, and that's pretty consistent and reliable, yeah, for distances.
Yes. So we have, well, of course, it's not like a LiDAR or more precise things, but yes, we can measure the maximum error we do is about 5%.
Okay,
that's incredible.
And the AI is running again, because the big thing here is that this is standalone. This is all self-contained, no data connection. So you're running an AI model on the device itself in that box.
Actually, we are running 2 different models in parallel, and we construct all the elements we want to construct from these AI models, providing that the entry is a single camera and the capture from this camera. So we don't have anything else. It's only camera based.
That's very impressive. And how quick is the response? What's the refresh rate? How often does it map the environment in front of you?
We are able to make decisions every 200 milliseconds, which if you compare, because we are not in the car industry, so people are walking. So approximately you walk 1 meter per second. So every 20 centimeters that you advance, we will be able to have a decision and detect everything, guide to avoid the obstacles and find the safest way for the user.
Wow.
Okay.
That's very interesting. I want to bring in a question, or actually a couple of questions we've had from one of our listeners, Darren, who's been in touch. Let's hear his questions, if you can respond to these on the other side of this, Aram.
My questions are, will it have text detection? I presume it's got a camera on it. Will it be able, obviously, I believe it can describe scenes. Will it be able to read things in the future? I presume it will have software updates. The reason I'm a bit skeptical about the Kapsys is I've spoken to someone who was referred to me by an organisation I belong to called Living Without Sight. I won't name the gentleman's name because I haven't asked his permission to do so, but he told me he had a Smart Vision 2 for several years and there wasn't a single software update. I don't know whether this is the case for the Smart Vision 3, but I would hope that there'll be software updates down the line for this Kapsys wearable, and I was wondering what Kapsys' policy on updates are, and also would there be a subscription if you bought this thing?
Okay, so different parts there.
Different, yeah. So coming for the Smart Vision 2, Smart Vision 2 has been launched on 2017. So we made approximately every 3 months a free updates on Smart Vision 3 until there is nothing to update. So the updating free of charge is our policy, and this will not change anyway in CapX. So if we will be able to add different features over the coming years, the answer is absolutely yes. We will add a number of AI-based actually applications to make the life easier for the visually impaired, and will it be on subscription base? The answer is no. Because we have nothing more, because we are not using third-party platforms, we are not connected to a server, that we have to pay royalties. So everything is developed in Kapsys, and everything is embedded in, as you have seen in the configuration of CapX. So no, there is nothing to pay more than when you buy it.
That is often the concern for people, isn't it? I mean, we've seen this time and time again in our community. Products come along, great products, and then they struggle to be maintained because once everyone's bought the product, and it's a small community, and that's a challenge as well, you essentially are running out of options to keep the software going. So how do you develop that? Essentially, you taking the money that would be coming in for this product and using that for future development. Is that how this works for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Our business model have been always buy the product and forget the difficulties, and we will be always there to resolve the difficulties over the time. So no worries about that. We will improve. Of course, we will not be how would I say, free from defect, but we have always assured our customers that we will be able to upgrade the software to fix the problem. So even if it is hardware, we will do it with no question.
Yeah.
So we have been from 18 years our policy, and it will still remain the same.
I just also want to clarify something, because I think there can be I must admit, I thought this at first as well, that in order to buy the CapX, you needed to use a Kapsys phone. That's not the case here, right? It's a standalone device, but you can connect this to other phones, an iPhone, an Android phone, whatever you're looking at.
Exactly. So we didn't want to lie or to connect the CapX with our smartphones because everybody has something different today. And so they will continue to use what they have. So what we want is to open the connectivity over Bluetooth to the headset, and then you can use the headset as you use today your iPods or whatever you use, and you will be able to add the features you want on your own on your device. For example, if somebody wants to use the iPhone with any applications related to the to navigation, they will be able to do it. So there is no question about this. So it's totally, the CapX is totally disconnected, I would say, from our phone business.
So can I just ask, if you're listening to, let's say, Soundscape on your iPhone, can you still hear the audio and the rest of the features of CapX? Is it mixed together?
Yeah, the answer is yes. It's mixed together, but as I said, we are using the 3D sound. So Soundscape is also using the 3D sound in your example. So mixing both will probably not be a very good idea.
We're turning round in circles.
So the reason why, technically it's possible, but I think it's not a good idea in that specific case. But you can use it to listen the music if you want to. However, when we have instruction to give, we will cut the music and give our instruction. So I don't know if our friends will be very happy the way that it will work at the end of the day. Anyway, they need to have the ears open to detect what it's happening surrounding them. So I think, well, theoretically, I would say yes. Practically, I'm not sure that they will use it.
Okay, that's cool. Can I just ask about the 3D audio you're using to navigate around objects as well? Can I also, if I wanted to, get a description of the object, the obstacle that was in front of me. For example, if it suddenly alerts me that there's an object I need to navigate around, and I think, hang on, there shouldn't be an obstacle here. I know this well. What is it? Can I get a description of what that obstacle is as well?
Yes, you can have the description on demand. The way that we describe the obstacles or the elements, not necessarily obstacles. For example, we can also detect the stairs and tell you that there are stairs in that direction, which cannot be considered as obstacle, but as information for the user. All this we are able to detect and notify to the user. The way that we notify the description is based on the 3D TTS. What is it? Is that to reduce the mental load of the user, we just say, for example, bicycle at 3 meters. And you will hear that the bicycle is positioned as a source of the sound coming in one direction. So you know that in that direction at 3 meters, there is a bicycle. Or 3, or whatever, or chair, or something which is not usually were there, but it happens that somebody is around you, or it can be also a person. So
it sounds incredible. Talk to me about availability, and do you have a price? I mean, obviously, availability it's not available yet, but what is the price likely to be for something like this?
To be honest, we haven't decided yet the price, but I can give you a guidance. The price will be around 3,000 euros. Sorry, 3,000.
I got excited there for a second. So
300. Sorry. So it's going to be around 3,000 with no subscription, with no additional expenses.
Now, just to be clear, you're in France. So is that in euros? Is that 3,000 euros or $3,000 US?
It's 3,000 euros. I'm talking, but the US dollars are the same. Canadian dollars is probably different, but So basically, you take it as 3,000 euro when we will launch it. When we will do it, I would say it's around summer, probably before or maybe also just after. So it's between June to September. I cannot tell you as of today because we are in the industrial phase. So we might have problems or not, depending on that. It will be between June and September.
Yeah, you don't want to be committing to that at this point. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, this all sounds very interesting. I can't wait to hear what our listeners have got to say on it. The double tappers will be tapping away on their keyboards as we speak, I am sure. I want to ask you, though, while I've got you, specifically around Kapsys themselves and the Smart Vision 3. So I don't know if you would be aware of this, but I did a review of the Kapsys Smart Vision 3. I've been talking about it on the show. My view is very simple, and I'm putting this to you as the CEO of Kapsys. Since I've got you here, I want to say this to you. I think this Smart Vision 3 is a genius phone. I love it. I love the way it operates. I think it's wonderful. There's one thing that irritates me about it. It's not powerful enough. It needs more power in it. What I need is a pro version of that phone, something that might lure people away from using the iPhone or even an Android phone, a standard Android phone. Is that ever likely to be in the works?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Wow.
And I
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, mate.
I give you the hint that because for me, the future of the smartphone is AI-driven. So AI-driven means that you need the power of computing, which is much more than what we have today. I'm talking about the Smart Vision 3. So we will announce probably. I cannot say the date, but it's in the pipe. That's all I can say.
Okay, that's very, very interesting.
Stephen, you stumbled on a exclusive.
There you go. but honestly, I just believe that there's a huge amount of us out there who, in my case, and it is just my case, but I'm not alone in this, Aram. I have a physical condition as well. I have an essential tremor in my left hand, and it does make tapping on a phone, double tapping, quite difficult. And when I'm able to use a smartphone with buttons, it does make my life a lot easier. Plus, I'm a bit of a BlackBerry nerd, so I go back to the days of BlackBerry, having physical buttons and candy bar style phones, all the great times with the buttons. There's loads of us out there who like that option. And I just think there's a great market out there potentially for it. So that's why I raised the question. I'm really pleased to hear you're working on this. It sounds wonderful. I'm so pleased that you came on today to tell us all about the work, Aram. Good luck with what you're doing. Good luck. Come back and tell us more. We'd love to test out the CapX when it comes along so we can tell everyone about it here at Double Tap. But for now, thank you so much for coming on and sharing the news about CapX.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure to be with you, and I hope that I will soon will give you the definite date when it will be available, and hopefully you can also test by yourself if it is convenient for this population that we are targeting. So thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Aram.